What if the heart of the Maple Leafs is about to leave the ice? What if the man who, for years, has symbolized hope, stability, and commitment is about to be sacrificed in the name of one last shot at winning? John Tavares, the kid from Mississauga who came home, the player who turned down bigger offers, calmer markets, and a more comfortable career just to try and win in Toronto. Now, behind the scenes in the quiet corridors of decision-making, his name is starting to echo in conversations few dare to imagine. Trading him. But why? And why now? This is a story of a leader without the captain's patch, of a city that doesn't forgive failure, and of a dream that ages with every passing spring. If you love this team, if you feel in your chest the weight of every elimination, and if you want to understand what's behind a rumor that could change everything, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and stick with us. Because here, we live the drama from the inside. And what's about to happen might be historic. It all starts in 2018. The announcement of John Tavares signing was an earthquake in the NHL world. He left the Islanders at the peak of his career, chasing a childhood dream to wear the blue and white. In his first season, he scored 47 goals. The city erupted. It was a sign that, finally, the Leafs were ready to break the curse. But stories don't always follow the script. Year after year, the frustration piled up. Early exits, injuries, criticism, moments of deafening silence inside Scotiabank Arena. And through it all, Tavares kept the same expression, the same focus, the same work ethic. Now, at 34, he no longer wears the C on his chest. He passed the captaincy to Austin Matthews without a moment of drama. And, ironically, ever since, he seems to have rediscovered something that had been lost. A lightness, a freedom on the ice. This 2024-25 season has been, for him, an answer, a silent scream. He scored 37 goals, 71 points in 70 games. All-star level production. He was nominated for the Bill Masterton Trophy, awarded to the player who best exemplifies perseverance, sportsmanship, and dedication to hockey. And anyone who's watched Tavares this year knows he's playing like he's 25 again. But in pro hockey, sometimes that's not enough. The NHL salary cap is ruthless. With Matthews re-signed, Nylander on a hefty deal, Marner entering negotiations, and a defense begging for reinforcements, the Leafs find themselves facing a brutal choice. Sources close to the organization suggest that if the team fails again in the playoffs, management could make a drastic move. Consider trading Tavares before his contract ends in 2025. The goal? Free up $11 million in cap space and reshape the roster. According to insiders like Nick Kyprios, the plan wouldn't be a rebuild. It would be a tactical reset. Fewer stars, more balance, more playoff-style players, more grit on the boards, more consistency on the third line. But trading Tavares isn't simple. He has a full no-move clause. He only leaves if he agrees. And that's where the conversation gets deeper. There's an emotional side few people see. Tavares loves Toronto. He was born here. He grew up watching the Leafs. Wearing this jersey isn't a job for him. It's something personal, something from the soul. But there's a rational side too. He knows his time may be running out. And if he realizes his role will be reduced, or that the team wants to change its identity, he might accept a move. But only to the right place. The names being whispered behind closed doors aren't random. San Jose, Anaheim, even a return to the Islanders. Rebuilding teams with cap space. Teams that would value a veteran with his leadership and presence. From Toronto's side, the return wouldn't focus on stars. The goal will be physical players. Impact players. Names like Lawson Krause and Radko Gudas have been floated by analysts. The focus is clear. Build a roster that can survive the brutal ice of playoff hockey. But is that enough? Is it worth giving up the man who represents the most stability in this franchise? When Tavares is on the ice, the Leafs generate nearly 60% offensive efficiency. He's the pivot who sets the tone. The guy who sees the game in slow motion. The one who positions himself where no one else is looking. In crunch time, he's always an option, always an anchor. Without him, this team loses zone presence. loses key face-offs, loses calm, and there lies a dilemma. If he goes, Toronto gains flexibility. They can invest in defense, add depth, redesign the structure. They might, on paper, build a more playoff-ready team. But they also lose a leader, a symbol, a man who always took the heat in the worst moments, who never blamed anyone else, even when he had every reason to. And if he stays, it might be his last dance, a symbolic farewell. The veteran playing freely, passionately, chasing the one thing he's wanted since day one, the cup. And maybe that's why this is the best version of John Tavares, without the captaincy pressure, without the shadow of broken promises, just him, the ice, and the hunger to win. This decision won't come from spreadsheets. It's layered with history, identity, legacy. So now the question comes to you. Would you trade John Tavares? Would you give up a living legend in the name of one more shot at the title? Or would you keep the heart of the team, believing that sometimes it takes more than skill or youth? Sometimes it takes soul. Drop your thoughts in the comments. We want to know, what side are you on? Every great story begins in silence, not with headlines, not with fireworks, but with a name that, at first, almost no one recognizes. And yet it's that name that one day might change everything. Blake Smith, 20 years old, defenseman, born in Oshawa, Ontario, and now officially part of the Toronto Maple Leafs organization. The announcement was quiet. A 3-year entry-level contract starting in 2025 to 26. Just another OHL kid signing with an NHL team. Just another name in a long list. But anyone who follows this team closely knows that in hockey, there's no such thing as just another. Because when the Leafs sign a local, young, rising player, it means more than it seems. It means there's a plan. It means the process is in motion. It means the identity of this franchise, built over generations of frustration and hope, is being reshaped piece by piece. And Blake Smith might be one of those pieces. But why? And why now? If you love the behind the scenes, if you live for the quiet drama that exists between press releases and the ice at Scotiabank Arena, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and stick with us. Because what seems small might just be the beginning of something big. Blake Smith just completed his 4th season in the Ontario Hockey League. A defenseman who grew up under the shadow of the Oshawa Generals, his hometown team. A kid who watched idols skate through that arena. Who probably dreamed, from an early age, of the day he'd with a Leafs crest on his chest. But hockey, like life, doesn't always follow the perfect script. Smith was traded, moved from Oshawa to the Flint Firebirds in Michigan. And that move could have been the turning point downward. Could have been a premature end to a promising rise. But it wasn't. In fact, it's where he started to bloom. In the 2024-25 season, he played 64 games with the Firebirds, scored 10 goals, added 22 assists, totaled 32 points. But more than the numbers, he showed character, consistency, composure. He also hit the ice in 5 OHL playoff games. And those who follow the league know, that's where you find out who's ready to take the next step. Smith didn't grab the spotlight, but he played his role with precision, with maturity. And that, for the Leafs, seems to have made all the difference. Because what Toronto needs now isn't just stars. They already have Austin Matthews. They already have Marner, Nylander. Really, what's been missing for years is depth, stability, players who can step in and steady the team when things start to fall apart. And maybe, just maybe, that's the plan for Smith. With veterans like Giordano approaching retirement and uncertainty surrounding players like TJ Brody, the Leafs are facing an inevitable process, rebuilding the defensive unit without sacrificing immediate competitiveness. They're not going for a full rebuild, but they need to get younger, cheaper, and at the same time, keep their identity. And Smith brings something rare to that equation. He's affordable, he's local, he's moldable, and he's already shown he can adapt. Getting traded from your hometown and still growing after that is a small thing. It's a sign, a test he passed. And the most symbolic part of it all is that now he's coming back. Coming back, in this case, isn't just geographic. It's emotional. He's returning to the province where he grew up, returning to the team he probably learned to love before he even knew how to skate, returning to the weight of the blue and white jersey, which, as any Leafs fan knows, is beautiful but also unforgiving. Smith knows that wearing this jersey demands more than skill. It takes nerves of steel, patience, and above all, a short memory. Because in Toronto, the media doesn't forgive. The fans don't forget. Mistakes become bar debates, newspaper headlines, and locker room nightmares. But Smith seems ready, not to be a star, but to be a part of a system being rebuilt in the details, part of a core that might finally give this franchise what it wants most, a team that doesn't melt in April. And if you look at the timing of the signing, it all makes sense. The contract starts in the 2025 to 26 season. That gives him time. A full year to grow, maybe go through the AHL, get stronger physically and mentally, learn the Leaf system from the inside. By the time that contract kicks in, a lot could have changed. The roster might look different. The defense restructured. The coach possibly new. And in that new setting, Smith might find the space he needs to stick. Not as a star, but as a solution. And the NHL has shown over the past few years that it's these kinds of players who win in May and June. The ones who don't make the billboards, but do the dirty work. Kill penalties. Win board battles. Hold the blue line under pressure. Smith fits that mold. And the fact that he's local, that he carries Ontario Hockey League ice in his blood, only strengthens a connection. The mystique. The chance that he truly embraces this mission with everything he's got. Now the question is, can he do it? Can he handle the weight of playing in Toronto? Or will he be just another name in the archives, remembered as a promise that never materialized? Do you believe in Blake Smith? Or do you think this is just another low-impact bet? Drop a comment below. We want to know what you expect from him. And in the next video, we're doing a deep dive into the Leafs blue line, who are the top 5 defensive prospects in the system. Which one is closest to cracking the NHL roster? And what does that reveal about the franchise's real plan? Hit subscribe, turn on the notifications, and stick with us. Because the future of the Leafs is being written right now. And when it hits the ice, you won't say you saw it coming.